Greetings everyone and welcome to Day 5, Part 5, the final part of my top 50 PlayStation 4 games list. What a journey we have gone through the last, previous 4 days and today, the 5th. And I'm sure out there, a lot of you are like, God damn it, X, your list is just trash. Well, that's your opinion. This list is just my personal opinion on my favorite PlayStation 4 games. You're going to have a different list than me, that's for certain. And there's going to be games, I know for sure there's going to be one I'm going to talk about today that you're going to not agree with me on, but again, personal favorite. And as I've mentioned in some of these videos the past few days, there are going to be some of these games where, or this list in general, where things are going to shake up. You ask me in 6 months to do my top 50 PlayStation 4 games list, it's going to be different, because opinions change over time. And when it comes to games, you get fond memories of something, then maybe a week or so later you get fonder memories of a different game, and you're like, yeah, that one's better than the other one I thought of. So yeah, things change over time. But this is my list as it is right now. So folks, let's do this without any more further ado. Some of these I'm probably going to chat a bit about. It's time for the top 10 PlayStation 4 games in the opinion of Lord X. Number 10, Horizon Zero Dawn. Guerrilla Games finally got away from the Killzone franchise and got to make something completely different. We got the post-apocalypse. The apocalypse happened, and the world is recovering from that, and basically has recovered. And you're going around killing giant robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow. It's fucking awesome, and Aloy is a really cool character. Yeah, this was something really special, and the game looks stunning, looked beautiful. I mean, the sequel looks even better than this one does. I enjoyed the hell out of this game, and it's been one that I've been really considering going back and replaying over again. So yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn coming in at number 10. Number 9, Nier Automata. Talk about an incredibly weird game, but at the same time so fucking good. The combat in this, fantastic. The visual style, awesome. The story, fucking out there, but so rad. And this was one of those games where you had to play multiple times. Like, you get through it the first time, you're like, man, that game was kind of short. Then you start up again, it's like, we're going on a whole different perspective here this time. Okay, this is interesting. And you play it a third time and a fourth time, and it's just different, and it fleshes out the story. And then you get, like, this game had one of those endings where when you get, it was the final ending, I believe, but it was just incredible. Playing it, I'm like, oh my god, this is insane, I love this. And that ending alone brought it here into my top 10 games list. Not only the fact that I love the characters in this game, I love the setting, I love the combat, but that ending, I believe it was ending E if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to say too much because I really don't want to spoil it. But yeah, so freaking cool. Also, it had a neat little concept where you could actually use your in-game money to buy the trophies. Easy platinum that way. And I'm not gonna lie, I got it that way. Do anything for a platinum. Number 8. The Last of Us Part 2. What? Lord X? I know half people, there's like, this had to be number 1. And another half going, you even put this into the top 40? Jesus, what's wrong with you, Lord X? Well, I love this game. This was beautiful, so dark, a great continuation of the first game, a great conclusion to the first game as well. I loved both Ellie and Abby as characters, despite things that happened. I thought the story was really well written. Going back and playing it a second time to get the rest of the trophies, I appreciated the story and the character developments even more. That was fantastic. Initially, after finishing it the first time, I did say that it felt like a little too long in some parts, where it had the old symptom of it's going a bit too long. Looking back now, though, I kind of disagree with myself on that. I'm like, yeah, it was long, but it kind of made it worth it overall. So yeah, fantastic game. And no, I did not rank it higher, because right now it's not my favorite game of 2020. Not even close. Well, yeah, it's close. It's very close, let's be honest. But, yeah, just there were 7 other games on the PlayStation 4 which I adore even more than The Last of Us Part 2. And that's saying just how great this generation has been. Number 7. Final Fantasy VII Remake. No, I did not intentionally have Final Fantasy VII at number 7, just the way things worked out. This right here is my favorite game of 2020 so far. There's a couple coming up for the PlayStation 5 which may outdo it, but as of right now, what they did with this game and how they did it and how brilliantly it was done, this is just an incredible game. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Final Fantasy. I adore it. I respect it. It definitely was the game that really... one of the games, at least in the PlayStation 1 generation, which brought me really back into playing RPGs again. But the remake here is awesome. And I don't want to say too much to spoil it, but remake in the title, Final Fantasy VII Remake, does not stand for straight up remake. And that's what makes this game awesome, and it's making the wait for the next part oh so painful. Nomura, give us something. Just give us a little taste, please, of part 2. Number 6. Uncharted 4. Did we really need Uncharted 4? Not really, but god damn was it ever good. This one last journey with Nathan Drake, his brother, Sully, just so fantastic. And the epilogue. Oh my god, the epilogue. That had me crying so many tears of joy. Where they've wrapped up the story so well. They sent off these characters in the most lovingly way possible. Which makes me hope we don't get another Uncharted game in the future. We probably will, but I kind of hope we don't. At least not one starring Nathan Drake. Maybe his brother and Sully broke off and we get a story with them, or we get another story with Chloe and Nadine. Which reminds me, I still need to play Lost Legacy. Yeah, I haven't played that yet. Sorry. I haven't. Never got the around to playing it for whatever reason. Maybe soon. But yeah, Uncharted 4, so good. They improved the combat. Like I said, the story was good. It looks beautiful, stunning. There were some moments in this, especially like, if you remember the part in the boat going towards the island, just the water going everywhere, like, stunning. Absolutely stunning game. And one that I might go back to if they do have the boost enhancements on it for the PlayStation 5 version under the PlayStation Collection. Which I might dabble back into that again. Anyways. Number 5. Dragon Quest XI. Man, Dragon Quest came back with a vengeance here in the PlayStation 4 generation. My god, this game was good. This was like, it didn't receive the praise that it should have. I really feel like this should have been up there for like Game of the Year awards. I think it was in some places, but not everywhere. Because just like Persona 5 years before, this really brought back the fact that turn-based RPGs work. They're good even in the year 2020. And that made me so happy. So many games these days go into that action RPG route. We see that right now with Final Fantasy 15 and the upcoming Final Fantasy 16. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 16 looks rad. Like the action combat in there from the guy who did the combat for Devil May Cry is doing that, so it's going to be fucking awesome. But I'm a turn-based RPG guy at heart. And yeah, wish there were more of those, and Dragon Quest really brought that back, and it was so good. The story here was just awesome. Loved every character here, from the twins, their magic, to the thief, to the old guy. Just awesome. I love this game to death, and that's why I'm ranking it so high. Because for a long stretch of time, even like through the PS3 generation, turn-based RPGs were far and few between, and even now. So when one comes along that really hits at the heartstrings, I gotta give it the praise it deserves. And Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of a Lost Age, I think I got that full title right. I just had Dragon Quest XI written down here. Was just so awesomely done. I do want to play like the special edition or definitive edition that they're putting out on the PS4 soon. Has been out for the Switch for a long time. It's like Dragon Quest XI S or whatever. I do want to give that a shot, especially with the retro mode. But yeah, this Dragon Quest, so good. Let's keep going, shall we? Number 4. God of War. Boy, that was such a bad Kratos impersonation. But yeah, God of War, technically God of War 4, bringing us into the Norse mythology years after Kratos destroyed the Greek gods. Now he's in the Norse realm of gods. He's dealing with Odin, and there's like Thor and Balthier. Just awesome. This game was so good, and it did the one thing nobody thought possible. It humanized Kratos. You cared for this angry son of a bitch finally. And the combat was just awesome. Throwing around the axe, it felt so good. And you had the epic scale battles still in this game, even though it was quite different. It was like over-the-shoulder combat. It was radically different than what we've had before, but it was excellent. It was awesome. Even the two elf characters that help you with your weapons were funny and cool. I can't remember the guy's name now, but the one who was attached to a tree, where you chop off his head and you attach him to your belt. They made like traveling around in this game fun, because you get like a little boat, and while you're going around that, you tell stories. And Kratos has a kid now, and the conversations between them were great, where technically Kratos is teaching the boy to be a god, and the boy is teaching Kratos really to be a father. It was just awesomely done, so well done. And it actually pained me to put this in at number 4. But the final 3 games here that I have to talk about, just they hit in the heart just a little bit more than what God of War did. So let's get into the top 3. Number 3. Marvel's Spider-Man. God damn, we haven't had a good Spider-Man game, really good Spider-Man game since the PlayStation 2. And even then, you go back to that one, it's like, maybe this wasn't as great as it was. Good! Maybe it's not as great as we thought it was. But my god, Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 was so fucking rad. I spent so many hours just swinging around the city, not really even doing anything, just swinging around and having fun. The story was so good. You had a seasoned Peter Parker who had been Spider-Man for 8 years. There are some twists and turns in this story that you would never expect coming. Not from like the first game in Insomniac Spider-Man. Hopefully long series. We know we're getting Miles Morales this fall. Can't wait for that. The game looked gorgeous. It was one of the first games I loaded up on my 4K DD when I got it. And playing on the Pro, it's just awesome. It looks stunning, so beautiful. The Platinum Trophy was actually really fun to get because going around and doing all like the little side quests and little collectibles were actually really rewarding and got to teach you more of Spider-Man's adventures over the past 8 years without like railing it over your head. Man, I can't talk. I'm just so excited to talk about Spider-Man. The villains were really good, really well done here. Maybe a little obvious, maybe in some spots, but yeah, I thought it was just so well done. Cannot wait for more Spider-Man games. Yes, it's up there. I even bought the PlayStation 4 Pro for this game and do not regret it. Well worth it. Number 2. The Last Guardian. And here we go with the game where I know so many of you are like, Lord X, why on earth would you put The Last Guardian on your list, especially at number 2? Why would you even put this game in your top 50? It's buggy, it doesn't work, it looks bad. Well, to you saying that, I say fuck you. Because I think this game looks really good. Yes, it was stuck in development hell for so many years. And, you know, I never had a problem with the AI of Trico. Never really did. And, you know, yeah, he didn't listen sometimes, but guess what? Pets don't listen. And I know some people are like, that's just a lame excuse. But, well, yeah, no, it's real, it's fact. It doesn't really work that way with pets. You're not going to call your cat over and it's going to listen to you. Fuck no. But this game was so beautiful. The story in this game was so good. Like, playing through it, it warmed the heart in a lot of places. It was really good. Like, going through the game, you're like, man, they're probably going to kill this thing and it's going to break my heart. Spoiler, they don't. But that connection you have between the boy and Trico is just... It's so well done, and how they do it over time is just brilliantly written, in my opinion. And this game absolutely broke me with the ending. Like, when going through the end part, I was like, oh man, this is really hitting. I feel warm inside. I feel sad. I feel warm. I wasn't like tearing up or anything. And then you go past the credits, you see the little final scene, and you get one little trophy that pops up at the end. And when I read that trophy title, I burst into tears. The trophy, I cannot remember exactly now, I'm kind of paraphrasing. There was something along the lines of, no matter how far apart. Starting to cry now, even just thinking about it. That's how powerful this game is, folks. At least to me. Because that trophy title, it made me realize why I love this game so much. Because it made me remember my connection with my pet growing up, my pet cat. And yeah, that's why this game makes me love it so much. Just it reminded me of that connection. And I'm going to move on to number 1 before I really burst into tears here, talking about The Last Guardian again. Number 1, Persona 5 Royal. That's right, we're going with the Royal Edition here because all the extra stuff added on to the original game just made it even more brilliant. And playing 150 hours of this game earlier this year during the pandemic, when everything was locked down here, just made me realize that Persona 5 Royal deserves not only to be number 1 in my top 50 PlayStation 4 games of all time, but this game is in my top 5 games of all time now. I'm the type of person where I'm like, I really enjoy a game, but after I play it, I'm not instantly going, that's my favorite game of all time now. I'm the type of person where I'm like, a game has to be out for like 5, 6, 7 years, even before I start to consider that. One of my favorite Vita games, Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. I consider that, maybe in my top 20, maybe top 15 games of all time. But I'm like, will I have those fond memories in like another 10 years or so? And if I do, maybe I will say that's in my top 5 games of all time. Persona 5 Royal is so damn good that I have to say that it's in my top 5 games of all time. It brought back, just like Dragon Quest XI, turn-based combat. It was recognized the year when the original edition came out. It was in and should have won in 2017 the Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Fuck you, Breath of the Wild. Persona 5 is 10,000 times better of a game than you will ever want to be. Sorry, gotta get that out there. Makes me angry that a game won. From the characters, to the story, to the gameplay, Persona 5 Royal to me is the perfect game. Like, the only game I would ever even consider, that I do consider being higher, is like Final Fantasy IX. Just personally. Like, Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy VI, I think, still are a bit better than Persona. I even like Final Fantasy VI, I would say, can be knocked off the throne of number 2 for me for Persona 5 Royal. It's just that fucking good. And that's why I had to rank it up here as my favorite PlayStation 4 game of all time. So there you have it, folks. We have finally reached the end. This was a extra long episode. Maybe less if I cut it down, because I almost broke out into tears a few times again talking about The Last Guardian and how much that game just emotionally connects with me. So yeah, there we go. Down in the comments below, I'd like to hear what you consider to be your top 10 favorite PlayStation 4 games of all time. What's your top 50? How about that? List those out. Link me to an image where you have them all posted together. Be easier reading the comment. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little series. We're just a week or so away from the PlayStation 5 dropping, from the Xbox Series S/X dropping, from new graphics cards, I guess, for PC. That's a thing. Switch, maybe, still going strong. Maybe by now they've announced a Pro version. Who knows what Nintendo's doing. They're weird. Love them, but they're weird. But that's going to do it for me, folks, for today. Thank you again so much for joining me on this journey. Can't believe it's been it has been 7 years since I did my PlayStation 3 top 50. Man, how's the time has gone by. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But until we meet again, I have been Lord X, you have been awesome, and I will catch you next time.